Hey everyone, this is the third time I've tried to do this video. First time I kind of just messed up what I was saying, and then the second time I went and spilled tea all over the place. So anyway, we'll try again. So sleep's been all over the place again this week, and because of the way I've scheduled in my exercise and things, I'm still getting that done. That was one of the things that was bothering me before with sleep issues, was that I was letting it compromise my exercise and keeping fit and things. So so funny old week with sleep. Last night, this morning, I think I woke up about 3ish. So I did lay in bed for a while rather than get up, but still it was not ideal. It would have been nice to have slept for a little bit longer, considering I think I went to sleep at about 10. So yeah, but yeah, it's not been a bad little week, strange week. My youngest was off on Monday, and not that that's relevant. I don't even know why I brought that up. See, this is what's going to happen today. It's going to be one of those days. Luckily it's Friday, so on Friday it tends to be a little bit quieter with work. The girls finish school and there's no sort of homework and things like that, so I should be able to switch my brain off pretty soon, so that'll be nice. This weekend we're going to put the Christmas tree up, so I'll take you guys on a tour of that. I used to be really heavy-handed when it came to sort of Christmas garlands and, you know, putting all the bits and pieces up on the ceiling and things like that. And it was something that I remember when I was a child, you know, that we would do at home. Like, my dad would put all these garlands up and he'd have the Christmas music playing, cheeky drink and stuff, and, you know, really fond memories. Love it. But from a very young age, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same if you celebrate Christmas, that is, obviously. I think the depression of Christmas, post-Christmas depression, starts at a very young age, you know, and I think seeing the Christmas decorations coming down was always a reminder that it was back to the start of another year and back to school and things like that. So I think either last year or the year before, I think it was the first time I sort of decided that I would not actually go garland heavy. I would just we would stick with a tree, and I put a few bits and pieces up, and it just meant that the sort of aftermath of Christmas ending and all of that wouldn't be so bad. The other thing I always do is I don't actually take much time off from work either, because, you know, there's so many things you have to build up to Christmas, the excitement. I mean, I'm lucky, man. I've got 2 little girls that are just so pumped about Christmas all the time, so we've got all of that lush family stuff going on, and then all of a sudden, you know, and you take a big chunk of time off work, so you're off work for a while and you put your feet up and everything, and yeah, when you hit, like, you know, your first, second week of January, bang, all of it, you know. So I tend to actually only take a couple of days off, and then perhaps I'll take a chunk of time off later in January, you know. So so tomorrow we're putting up the Christmas tree. We'll probably have some mulled wine, put some music on. We've already been chipping away at the Christmas films, working our way through them. Got quite a list of films to watch. I'm all about the Die Hard. It's got to be Die Hard, isn't it? You know, best Christmas film ever. But I've always been a sucker for sort of 80s action films and that anyway. But Die Hard was, even as a non-Christmas film when I was younger, I didn't really get that it was a Christmas film. But even from the first year that I watched it, I think just because I enjoyed that film so much, I would watch it every year. I probably watched it a couple of times a year, so I'm looking forward to Die Hard over the next week or so. And then we got a list of all the other staples, you know. You've got your Scrooged, you've got your Tim Allen Santa Claus movies. What else have we got on there? It's a little guilty pleasure, but Love Actually. I really do like Love Actually. I'm not even sure whether we got to watch it last year, but yep, so we watch Love Actually. Rambo, Rocky 4, because the fight takes place at Christmas, so you have to watch that. Lethal Weapon. I mean, they're probably not films which are immediately jumping out as Christmas films there, some of those ones. And what else? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's our Christmas Eve film. We always watch that at Christmas Eve, so we always keep that one. And we watched Christmas Chronicles last night. That's become a new staple as well. Love Christmas Chronicles, and we got the second movie to watch over the next couple of days. And this really nice animated film called Claws. I can't recommend it enough. It's on Netflix. It's such a nice story. It's so nice. And which brings me on to Arthur Christmas. I watch Arthur Christmas every year as well. The bit, without spoiling too much, but towards the end when they watch the little girl open her presents and you work out who the true Santa should be, I'm always like, who's cutting onions? Seriously, I need to just go out of the room a minute, you know? Yeah, I love it. It always catches me off guard. Guardians, the one with Jack Frost and Santa and Easter Bunny, we always watch that. That's another one. But a lot of the time what we're finding now is that it's more me and the wife that are watching these films rather than the girls. You know, we try and get the girls in the room with us. And depending on the film, you know, you can see whether we've got their attention or not. A big sign is always my youngest daughter, Hope, turning around saying, so how long is this film? Or this is a long film, isn't it? You know? Always a sure sign that interest has gone out the window, but we don't care. We'll be squeezing in lots of Christmas films. So next week we've got mine and my wife's 10-year wedding anniversary as well, because as much as I hate the whole post-Christmas thing, I love Christmas. We love Christmas. Christmas, you know, it's just awesome. And genuinely, it's always been, my excitement comes from seeing the reactions of the children and my wife from presents that I've got them. I don't really like presents. I mean, I do like presents, obviously, but I mean, I don't like the spectacle of people around me watching me open presents. Watching me open presents is the worst thing in the world. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I always try to sneak off away from people or make sure other people are looking at other things, and then I'll open presents, because my face, I don't really have many expressions. Or perhaps I don't react how people predict. So my face when I'm genuinely happy and, you know, over the moon and ecstatic might not be what a person's expecting. And I always feel the pressure, and then, you know, I got that going through my head and I'm opening the present, and I genuinely will love the present. I genuinely will. But I'll be like, oh my God, I see my dystonia on Christmas morning. And I think it's because there's so much emotion going on. It's a mixture of, you know, all the happiness now. I also do get a little bit stressed about the whole present thing, because I'm like, oh, hopefully you won't have anyone looking at me, you know, but yeah, so because we love Christmas so much, we wanted to get married in December, not too close to Christmas, because my family and that would have to travel, you know, from Wales to Belfast, and it would have been so expensive, hotels and staying here around Christmas. And also just to give us enough time as well to plan and get things sorted for Christmas if necessary. When we got married, we already had Lila at the time, and unbeknown to us, Shane was pregnant with Hope. So Yeah, I mean, I might have mentioned it on another video, but the wedding itself, I mean, I loved it. One of the best days ever, goes without saying. However, bang, the next day was shit. It was shit. We didn't get a honeymoon. There was no honeymoon. And, you know, we had a 4-year-old. I think she was 4, maybe 3. I'm so shit with my girls' ages. And we literally got up the next morning from getting married. It was a Sunday, and all of my family needed to get back to Wales for work for Monday. So literally got up in the morning. My parents had been looking after Lila, and you can be sure that we had possibly one of the most monumental hangovers ever. And as Shawnee lay in the bed pretty much dying, and I had squeezed in a fried breakfast, which was amazing at the time. I remember that's as much as I can remember of that sort of time of the morning. A little bit later on, by about 9, maybe even earlier, Lila was given back to us, and everyone went. I mean, because everyone had partied, everyone was in a massive rush to get home. But not that we had a honeymoon planned. It was still kind of like, oh, we're married now. And it reminded me a lot of when we first got home with either Hope or Lila from the hospital, and it was like, you feel so small in the world, everyone's gone, and you're sort of just there like, oh, okay. And it was very much like that. I remember us being sort of stood in the lobby of the hotel with bags of stuff that we had been given, and holding Lila, full of the hangover. The weather had been awful, as in like icy, really, really icy. It was so cold, and yeah. So we had always hoped that, you know, we'd get to our 10-year anniversary and perhaps do something, you know. But lovely COVID came in and changed that. So I don't know. We'll have to just celebrate our 11th or something like that. But we'll still do something nice. I know that Shine is taking some time off work. I've taken a bit of time off work. We're going to order some nice food in for that night, and we'll just have a nice chill day, you know. So I won't go too much into the Dystonia project on here. I'll just give you a little bit more insight behind the scenes and things. So there's still a lot of things going on with the family right now. Again, around health and things like that, which I briefly touched upon in earlier YouTube videos, which means that my headspace at the moment is kind of all over the place. And I've been taking advantage of time that's free and not working or not doing house stuff to just sit and relax and get my head around a few things. But as things get a bit quieter, as we do get closer to Christmas, I will have more time to edit the book. And that's my plan. I've got a goal of a certain amount of pages to be done by Christmas, which will then push me over the hump and push me into just really knuckling down. With regards to the podcast, then I'm going to reach out to, I've got a list of people, and I'll reach out to the next person on the list and see whether they're available, and see if we can get that recorded perhaps next weekend then. And hopefully have that then uploaded and published then, you know, before we go into Christmas, which would be nice. But yeah, I'll share more details on a separate video on Instagram or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to go and sit down and enjoy the rest of my tea and try not to spill anymore. So Take care.